All right, friends, it is Peggy Hall here, and I am back with the Healthy American Morning. Good morning to all of you healthy Americans. It is Wednesday, October 20th, 2021. We are coming into the last quarter of 2000. Did I say 2000? 2021, right? That is incredible. 2022 is right around the corner, which is good news for many of us because, well, I want to hear why it is good news for you. And let's see who's on board with us today. I would love to know where you are tuning in from. Today, it is a gorgeous fall day in sunny Southern California. I have got my decaf. This is a pumpkin spice decaf. It's not a latte. It's just very delicious and gets me in the fall mood. This is a sponsored show here at Peggy. Actually, I almost called it Peggy to the Rescue. Sometimes I call it Peggy to the Rescue. That's the afternoon show. The afternoon show is 3 p.m. Pacific, and that is where we roll up our sleeves. You can hear I have a very hoarse voice. I spoke for over an hour yesterday for all of our friends. And it was going to be a 20-minute Peggy to the Rescue, and it turned out to be an hour long. And today I've got another one. Yesterday was all about the slimy tactics that law firms are using to deny your exemption. And this afternoon, I'm going to talk all about federal employees and government contractors. But that information applies to you because a lot of the principles are exactly the same. So that's all we're going to say about current events and hardships. We're going to talk about keeping your head above the waves in these stormy seas of life. And the reason I'm able to do this show is thanks to my sponsor. Let me share my screen. And there we are. I want to bring you a message from Keto with Peggy. And a study reveals some shocking facts about weight loss. The cat says 49% of all adults in the US are obese. Oh my goodness, nearly half the country struggles with weight. How can that be? That's because the usual advice for weight loss doesn't always work. The secret isn't just to stay active or watch your diet. The secret is in Keto with Peggy. This product helped me lose weight quicker than anything I've ever tried, and routinely taking a few scoops has helped me melt fat, tone my muscles, and reduce cravings. I take it every morning. I love it. So I highly recommend ketowithpeggy.com. You can try it for 51% off by going to ketowithpeggy.com. You can see it right here, www.ketowithpeggy.com. And you can also visit the link below. Thank you to everyone who has been giving me feedback on the BioTrust products. I use these. I trust them. I take them. And I hope that you will too if this is something you are interested in. Let's talk about you, and let's talk about self-encouragement. That's basically what this show is all about. I call it the Healthy American Morning because it's healthy, it's American, it's in the morning, and I want to start my day off on the right foot, as I'm sure you do as well. And sometimes when people hear about positive thinking and a positive outlook, they can be negative about the positive outlook. And I understand where they're coming from because we've been bombarded with self-help. I don't call myself self-help. I think of it as self-health. How about that? Self-health, that you want to be healthy in your mind. That's your thoughts. In your spirit, in your heart, in your soul, and of course in your body, in your social interactions, it's an entire energetic connection. So when we are not feeling good in our body, then we don't feel good in our mind and our emotions. And sometimes when we don't feel good in our mind and our emotions, we don't feel good in our body, and then the spiritual self can suffer. So we want to have a holistic outlook on feeling better. For me, when I can control my thoughts, when I'm thinking, it has a positive impact on the rest of my health, on the rest of my physical, mental, emotional, spiritual self. So the Bible even says that we are supposed to take every thought captive. And in the book of Philippians, it reminds us to set our mind on all of the positive things and to leave all that negativity behind. So for those of you that are hopping on board right now with Peggy Hall in the Healthy American Morning, I welcome you, and I want to remind you that if you are struggling in other areas of your life with your job and religious persecution, please watch my playlist for religious exemptions. Please go to thehealthyamerican.org where you can find all of the remedies you need there. Let's turn our attention to our thoughts, what we are thinking, and how those thoughts can affect our feelings. And something that has occurred to me over my life, let me know in a comment if this is the same for you. I better leave the coffee aside and have some water. Yes, Miss Maskless, isn't that funny? Self-health. So I'm not a self-help guru. I'm not a guru of any kind, but I always thought it was funny to be a self-health guru because you're taking care of your own health. And we've got everybody hopping on board. Rose reminds us of Philippians 4:8. And here we go, friends. Let me know in a comment if this has happened to you. And as you do that, would you give a like to this video? We've got over 80 people. I'd love to have 80 thumbs up or likes. Someone told me you have to minimize the chat in order to see that button on your computer or on your phone. Let me know in a comment, are you tuning in on your phone or on your computer? I would love to know how many people are watching on their phone. Some of the controls are a little different. Thanks for getting that thumbs up button going. And thanks for being here this morning. Let me know if you ever felt in your life that you wish you had had more encouragement from your parents, more encouragement from your teachers, more encouragement from your friends, family members, maybe coworkers, maybe your boss. Let me know where you fall in that range. I was a swimming instructor for my first paid job at the age of 15. And I had these adorable little kids starting at the age of 3 to 5 years old. And then I had the 6 to 8-year-olds, and then it went on from there. And as I was teaching them swimming lessons, I realized what they really needed from me, not as much as the technical instruction of the strokes and how to roll on your back and how to float and how to get out of the pool safely. What they really needed was encouragement. And I either knew that just as my own knowledge and wisdom and intuition, God-given conscience directed me to encourage the kids more. And I saw the kids blossom. So I knew at a very young age how important the aspect of encouragement is. Over the years, people have said to me, Peggy, what is it you do actually? You're a health and wellness coach, you're a writer, you're a teacher, you do retreats, you sell health products, you research. What is it you do? And I call myself a professional encourager. I think I even have that on my Facebook page. By the way, please follow me over at Facebook. It's Facebook, and then it's Peggy.Hall1. I will put that in there for Facebook. Is look for Peggy.Hall1. And then I would love to have you over at Instagram, which is the same name as this, which is the Healthy American Peggy Hall. And I think that's what I call myself there, professional encourager at the helm of truth and freedom. In my life, there have been many times when I wish I had had more encouragement from others. Maybe that's just me, but an encouraging word for me goes such a long way. And I'm talking about encouragement. Think of the word encouragement, courage, encourage, to fill with courage. And the other thing that I've learned in my life is self-encouragement, like self-help, can be extremely powerful. So when I encourage my own self, rather than waiting for others to encourage me, I don't need to wait. And I can get as much encouragement as I want from myself. I spoke on an episode earlier about how self-criticism didn't work for me after a long time, after many, many years. I had the realization of, berating myself and criticizing myself into changing isn't really working very well. I feel horrible. And what I'm going to try, I remember consciously saying to myself, I'm going to try more self-encouragement, less self-criticism, more self-encouragement. And that is my message for you today. One of the encouraging phrases that I've used for myself that I don't need to wait for anyone else to say, and I can use it in my own words. I can write myself notes of encouragement. I can speak to myself with encouragement. I can pray to God for his encouragement. He's always encouraging me. My prayer is that I will recognize and receive that encouragement. God is always encouraging you, directing, protecting, guiding, inspiring, providing wisdom and all of that. We just need to remember and be open and claim that. Yes, Mama Lula, she says, how about professional encourager training courses? Yes, absolutely. That's a lot of what we're doing here. I think that's a great idea to actually create a certificate as a professional encourager. It is so important, especially in the phase of our times that we're in right now. Shannon says that encouragement is the best thing to do for others and yourself in feeling more secure, not feeling alone in times of growth, especially when vulnerable or taking a risk. You're so right, Sharon. And so many of us are experts at being a self-criticizer, right? We really have that wired where we could be an expert in self-criticism. And it's so interesting why that occurs. We need to consciously take control of our thoughts and change those critical thoughts to an encouraging thought. Here's the thought that I have for you today, my PMO, my positive mental outlook, or as I'm starting to call it, the Healthy American attitude. So my Healthy American attitude today is, oh, I don't even know. Can you guys hear me? I didn't even have my microphone in. I guess you can hear me. All right. Good to know. Good to know. I guess you're just getting it. Does it sound different? Is the sound different with my microphone? If the microphone doesn't make any difference, I won't use it in the future because sometimes it clangs against my necklace. Some of you guys were pointing that out yesterday. Oh my gosh, I had the necklace wrapped around the microphone. Hey, it happens. And that's another example of the show goes on. I'm not going to criticize myself over some jingly jangly sound. If people can't go beyond the jingly jangly sound to the actual message that I'm sharing, they need more self-encouragement. I'll just put it that way. So those things don't bother me. I do not have to have an A+ perfect production and delivery of information. Oh my goodness, if I waited for that, I would be waiting for a very long time. I just share what I have to share. So here's the message that I have for myself today. Let's see if you would like to join me in that. The phrase that I'm going to use is, I'm moving in the right direction. I'm moving in the right direction. I am moving in the right direction, and it feels wonderful. It feels wonderful to be moving in the right direction. It feels wonderful, and I deserve to feel wonderful. My wonderful healthy Americans, so often our society will tell us that if we are feeling wonderful, that is arrogant and selfish and conceited and la-ti-ta. Well, who do you think you are? I don't care what society says. I care what I say. I care how I feel, and I care how I honor God. So in a previous show, I reminded you that God created you as his masterpiece. There is only one of you, the amazing, incredible, yes, wonderful you, and that is in the Bible, that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. So I want to claim that phrase. I want to grasp it. I want to focus on it and emphasize it. And I want to stand on it. And I want to live on that phrase. Yes, I deserve to feel wonderful. God made me wonderfully and fearfully made. If you are God's poetry, you are his masterpiece. I want you to claim that and embrace it. And as you're going about the day to day, rather than criticizing yourself for past choices and actions and things that you've said and things that you felt, things that you did, things that you didn't do, things that you wish you had done, things you wish you hadn't done. Right now is a new moment. Right now is a new opportunity to start moving in a positive direction, moving in the right direction for you. And only you know what that is. Let's use the example of you have a goal, you have a destination. Let's use an analogy of getting in the car. I'm in Southern California. Let's say that I want to drive to Phoenix. All right. So I'm driving to Phoenix. Now, I may take a detour. I may stop off at a little antique store along the way. I might have to get gas in my car. Oh my gosh. Once I was driving to Arizona and my car actually broke down and I had to have it towed, and the part didn't come in for about 3 or 4 days. So there I was in Phoenix, Arizona for 3 or 4 days. I hadn't planned on it. So when the car was fixed, I got back in my car and I continued it on my way. So even with those detours, we're still moving in the right direction. When I remind myself, I'm still moving in the right direction. I had a little bit of a detour. That's okay. That can alleviate some of the stress, some of the pressure, some of the criticism that we pile on ourselves. If you're liking my message, friends, would you please, it looks like we're getting the thumbs up and the likes, and many of you are watching on your phone. And thank you for your comments, Mama. She says the most relevant and legitimate live show on YouTube. You know, because of you wonderful, healthy Americans here encouraging me. My goal is to create this encouragement community, and you are a part of it. When you leave these encouraging messages, when you consciously think and ask yourself, what am I thinking? Why am I thinking this? Is this my thought, or is this somebody else's thought that they imposed upon me? What am I feeling? Do I want to feel this way? Sometimes I want to feel sad. Sometimes I want to feel overwhelmed, and then I can understand the difference between feeling overwhelmed and feeling productive. So you'll never hear me say not to feel a certain way, or not even not to think a certain way. My encouragement is to be aware of what's going on, and then you can decide to change it. So when I criticize myself, such as, I can't believe I went to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning again, which I did. And I have been getting to bed earlier because I need my sleep and I want to be refreshed and energized and on point for all of the shows that I'll do. I'll be doing several shows today. I could have criticized myself. There you go again, staying up all night. You should have better boundaries. Why don't you just turn off that email and let them fend for themselves? That would be one approach to take with this circumstance that I found myself in, that I created for myself, of staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning. Or what I chose to do is I reminded myself of all of the previous nights that I've gotten to bed before midnight, and how wonderful it felt to get a good night's sleep, and how it's understandable that there are moments in life where you may stay up later than you wanted to. It's not the end of the world. So instead of saying, there you are, can't break a habit, can you? That is self-criticism. When those thoughts creep in, I can say, I see you. I see those thoughts creeping in. And even then, I'm not going to criticize myself. I'm not going to say, I can't believe I'm being so negative. I'm not even going to go there. What I'm going to do is shift my awareness and say, or I will maybe not shift my awareness, I will actually become aware of what I'm thinking, and I'll acknowledge, that's the word I'm looking for. I'll say, I was just about to criticize myself for staying up until 2 o'clock in the morning. A thought that I would like to choose is, I'm moving in the right direction. For the last several weeks, I've gotten to bed before midnight and it feels wonderful. I'm moving in the right direction and it feels wonderful. It feels wonderful to be aware of how I feel when I go to bed at 2 a.m. It feels wonderful to know that I have within my power the ability to choose when I go to bed. And it feels wonderful to remind myself that I'm moving in the right direction. I'm moving toward getting to bed earlier. Friends, even if I stay up until 1 o'clock in the morning tonight or tomorrow morning, I can still avoid criticizing myself by reminding myself that I'm moving. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to going to bed earlier. So those are the ways that I encourage myself. I use phrases such as I look forward to getting to bed before midnight on a consistent basis. It's going to feel wonderful when I get to bed before midnight on a consistent basis. For the last several days, I got to bed before midnight and it was wonderful. And I feel wonderful and I deserve to feel wonderful. And so do you. Let me know in a comment below if that is helping you. Wendy says it's so good to fill our soul with positive thoughts and praises for ourselves. And then we can go forward and uplift companions, spouses, family, and friends. Wendy, I agree with you. Imagine if everybody practiced self-encouragement instead of self-criticism. There would be fewer pieces for us to pick up with, and to emphasize, I'm not suggesting that we ignore the hardships in life, the ups and downs. This self-encouragement is what gets us through those hardships. That's what gets us through the stormy seas. That's why I say we are here to keep our head above the waves in the stormy seas of life. T. Miller says, I'm trying to lose a few pounds and I am eating less. I am moving in the right direction. T. Miller, this is one of the most powerful areas where it works for me. I believe that you and I are not alone. Eating is something we need to stay alive. And we can often, I'll speak for myself, turn to eat to soothe ourselves or as a distraction or as an emotional release from pain or overwhelm. So rather than get stuck in the spin cycle of there you go again, eating more than you planned for, you remind yourself, you know, I am moving in the right direction. My awareness has been awakened and now I can view things differently. And Miss Massless also struggles with a decent bedtime. So a way that I've been saying is I deserve to get a good night's sleep. How about that? I deserve to get a good night's sleep. This was an epiphany for me. I actually did a whole program about getting a good night's sleep. And I wrote several articles about that over the years because it was an area of interest for me. And you know what happened for me? What was the game changer? I read all those other articles about planning your day, getting exercise, turning out the lights, all of that. I'm up to date on all of that. The game changer for me was when I reminded myself that I deserved to go to sleep and get a good night's sleep just like everybody else. The reason I was up at night, and I don't watch TV or movies or anything. I don't even have a TV. We have a TV. My husband has a TV. We do not have cable. We do not have Netflix. I don't even know the last time my eyeballs were ever in front of a television set. I just don't do that. But what keeps me up is working. And I think there's something within me that drives me as if I didn't get enough done. I didn't do enough. There's still more to do. There's always more to do, friends. When I realized that I could not get everything done, I could not answer every single of my 4,593 emails that are in my inbox right now. It's not possible for me, just like on this beautiful live stream, it's not possible for me to answer every comment. It's not possible for me to answer every comment on any of my videos. I simply need to realize the reality of there are so many hours in a day. I have responsibilities and projects and programs and products and productions that I'm working on. And that brings us into the conversation of boundaries, which we will be talking about at length in this show. So I set myself a boundary of the computer goes off at, I need to get back to that boundary, at 9 p.m., for example. And after 9 p.m., I can read, I can take a bath, I can get myself ready for bed. And that is the direction I'm moving in. Now, I use the time frame of midnight, which for me is like, yippee! I'm not turning into a pumpkin like Cinderella or the Cinderella's coach turning into a pumpkin at midnight. I really want to be in bed before midnight, and I'm going to treat myself better, and I'm going to set those boundaries. So for me, realizing that it's okay to go to bed with some things left undone, there will always be things left undone, and that I deserve to get a good night's sleep. That is what made all the difference for me. So I love that T. Miller also uses the phrase, keep going. That's one of my favorite phrases. I'm moving in the right direction, and you can encourage yourself, keep going, keep going. I'm moving in the right direction, and I'm going to keep going. Just keep going. Be brave, take action, keep going, encourage yourself. I would love to hear from you. Hey, KP, nice to see you. And KP says it's okay to lean on each other. And that's why we are here. God created us to be in community. And that's what I'm creating here with our Healthy American Morning. I want to feel that sense of lift, which is why I say the phrase that way. I want to feel lifted and uplifted and positive so that I will have the wherewithal to handle whatever comes up. And we need a community in order to do that. So this is our encouragement community, and I'm so grateful that you are a part of it. I'm about to hop off in a couple of minutes, friends. I am doing a bonus Peggy to the Rescue right after this show, a short Peggy to the Rescue where people are asking me, what about loved ones that are coming to this country as immigrants? Do they still need to follow? How do they get out of these restrictions that the government is imposing? I'm going to answer that question in just a couple of minutes. And Izzy says, you uplift me, Peggy, after both of my sisters told me, oh my goodness. Well, friends, you'll need to read Izzy's comment. Keep going, Izzy. I'm so glad you're on board. You know, there is one Lord, one God, one union that connects us all. So my prayers are with you on your path. And hey, Jason, great to see you this morning. Karen says, may God richly bless you. That blessing is for us all. And Rex says, I sleep great because I do everything I can during the day. Thank you for that word of encouragement, Rex. I can't wait to report back to you all tomorrow to let you know about my good night's sleep. And it is important to encourage ourselves. So sometimes we're waiting for compliments or approval from others also. That's just in our human nature because as children, we needed approval from our parent. We thought we needed approval from our parents. We certainly needed our parents for our survival. So we were always seeking their approval. And that's a hard habit to break. Now I just seek approval from God. I want to live honoring him. And I want to share his light of truth with everyone I meet. And the Bible is full of words of encouragement, of wisdom. And I want to take that idea of taking every thought captive, guarding our heart, becoming aware of how we are. Oh my gosh, Thessalonians is all about waking up, not being in the slumber. I think it's the first book of Thessalonians, chapter 5. Wow, that's a good one to read. So thank you for passing on the information. And we've got Paula coming in from Texas, Tanya from the high desert, one of my favorite places. And at 3 p.m. today, yes, thank you for the reminder, 3 p.m. today, Peggy to the Rescue is all about federal workers and government contractors. Right now, it's California time. I'm going to hop off and I'm going to follow up. So stick with me. I'm just going to do my second show, which is Peggy to the Rescue. Let's talk about issues that immigrants have coming to this country regarding their health freedom. All right, friends. Thanks everybody that was on board yesterday and every day. Thank you for sharing the Healthy American Morning Show. And most of all, thank you for encouraging me and